I see you've been getting into AI lately.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Trying to wrap your head around it all. It's a lot.
It is.
The fascinating stuff, right?
Totally. And it seems like everyone's talking about it these days.
For sure. And you know what caught my eye? You've got Alan King's book on your list. Harnessing the Power of AI in Organizations.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's really insightful.
But who has time to actually sit down and read a whole book these days?
Right.
So that's what we're doing here. We're diving deep into King's book today, pulling out the need-to-know stuff so you don't have to.
Exactly. We're giving you the cheat sheet to sound like a total AI whiz, even if you only have 15 minutes to spare.
You know, King doesn't waste any time. He jumps right in with this idea that data is the new oil and AI is the refinery.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I mean, it's a powerful analogy, right? It really drives home the point that we're creating so much data these days. Every email, every click, every purchase, it's all valuable. Like oil, it has the potential to be incredibly valuable, but you need to refine it to really unlock its worth. That's where AI steps in.
Okay, so we're all sitting on these massive oil reserves of data. But how does that actually translate into something tangible, something we can use? Hit me with an example.
Okay, so think about Netflix. How do they know exactly what shows to recommend to you?
They must have a direct line to my brain or something because it's scary accurate.
That's AI at work. They're analyzing what you watch, how long you watch it, what you've liked in the past, all that data. And then AI uses that to predict what you'll want to watch next. It's like this constant feedback loop of data refinement. And that's what King calls the path of least resistance.
So it's making my life easier, essentially, by figuring out what I want before I even know I want it.
Exactly. And it's not just Netflix, right? It's Uber finding you the quickest route. It's Amazon suggesting products you might like. AI is everywhere, working behind the scenes to make things more efficient, more personalized, more convenient.
I'm sold. No more decision fatigue for me.
But, okay, he doesn't just paint a rosy picture, right? King talks about some potential downsides of AI, too.
Yeah, for sure. He brings up the system called COMPAS, which is used in some U.S. courts.
COMPAS, what is that?
So it's basically an algorithm that tries to predict how likely a defendant is to reoffend.
Okay, sounds helpful.
In theory, yeah. But it's been shown to have some serious bias issues. It might flag certain groups as higher risk, even if their past behavior doesn't really justify it.
That's really concerning. It is, and it highlights a really important point that King emphasizes throughout the book. AI is only as good as the data we feed it. If the data reflects existing biases, then the AI is going to perpetuate those biases, which is why it's so important to think critically about the ethical implications of AI.
So it's not just about the cool factor, it's about using this technology responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. And King goes into other potential downsides too, like job displacement, privacy concerns the importance of keeping data secure. He doesn't sugarcoat it, but he also emphasizes that we can mitigate these risks if we're proactive.
So awareness is key.
Absolutely. The more we understand about both the benefits and the potential pitfalls of AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this new landscape.
Right. Now, I know you were loving King's rundown of all the different AI tools out there. He basically hands you this shopping list. It's like, okay, you want to dive into AI, here's what you need.
Oh, yeah. He covers some seriously cool tools like Jasper for writing content, Midjourney for creating images from text prompts. It's really remarkable what's out there.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But let's get practical here. Let's say you're totally on board, convinced about the power of AI, and you want to bring it into your own company. Where do you even start?
Well, luckily, King lays out a really helpful 5-layer model for doing just that. And he starts by emphasizing the importance of what he calls the back end, which is kind of like the foundation of your AI house, so to speak.
The foundation. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's about having the right data storage solutions in place, making sure your data is secure, having the infrastructure to support your AI ambitions. It's the unsexy but crucial stuff.
Gotta make sure that foundation is solid.
Exactly.
So the back end is like the engine of the car. You need a good one, even if nobody sees it.
Exactly. And once you've got that solid back end, you can start thinking about the front end. That's the part that your customers or your users actually interact with.
Okay, so give me an example.
Let's say you're on a website and you've got a question.
Happens all the time.
Right. Instead of digging through FAQs or waiting on hold, you get a chatbot.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
But a good chatbot one that's actually helpful.
Key difference.
Exactly. That's AI working on the front end. It can answer your questions, maybe walk you through a process, all powered by AI.
So it's like having a 24/7 customer service agent who's actually helpful.
Exactly. And that's just one example.
Yeah.
King talks about how AI can be used to personalize recommendations, streamline online shopping experiences. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Okay, but he doesn't stop at the technology itself, right? There's this whole other layer about building what he calls an AI culture.
Right. Because you can have the most amazing AI tools in the world, but if your team doesn't know how to use them, or they're afraid of them, or they just don't see the value, it's not going to work.
It's like having a Ferrari not knowing how to drive stick.
Perfect analogy. So King talks about the importance of training, demystifying AI for your employees, showing them how it can actually make their jobs easier and more fulfilling.
So it's not about replacing people. It's about giving them superpowers.
Exactly. And King also stresses the importance of fostering creativity even in the age of AI.
Because AI can't think outside the box for us, right?
Exactly. Humans are still the ones coming up with the big ideas, the creative solutions. AI is just a tool to help us get there faster.
Okay, so we've got the back end, the foundation, the front end, the part we actually see, and we've got this idea of building an AI culture. What are the last two layers in King's model?
So the fourth layer is where things get really interesting. This is where you become what King calls an AI-fueled organization.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right. It's not just about using AI here and there. It's about integrating AI into every aspect of your business, your operations,
Yeah.
your decision-making, even your product development.
So AI becomes part of your company's DNA.
Exactly. It's woven into everything you do.
Mhm.
And then the fifth and final layer is all about becoming a thought leader in the AI space.
Okay, so sharing your knowledge and experience with the rest of the world.
Exactly. King encourages companies to be open about their AI journey, what's working, what's not. Because the more we share, the more we all learn, and the faster we can move forward together.
Collaboration over competition.
Exactly. Because AI is not just about technology, it's about people. And it's about using this incredible tool to create a better future for everyone.
I like that. So we've got our 5 layers, the back end, the front end, the AI culture, becoming an AI-fueled organization, and finally becoming a thought leader. It's a journey.
It is a journey. But I think the important thing to remember is that you don't have to do it all at once.
You don't have to boil the ocean on day one.
Exactly. Start small. Identify one problem that AI could help you solve within your organization, and then go from there.
So find that one area where AI can make a real difference and use that as your launchpad.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to reach out for help. There are so many resources available. King talks about the importance of networking, attending conferences, joining online communities.
Because nobody figures this stuff out alone, right?
Right. The AI community is full of passionate people who are eager to share their knowledge and learn from each other. So yeah, tap into that collective wisdom.
It's like you said earlier, collaboration is key. Now, before we wrap up our depth dive into Alan King's Harnessing the Power of AI in Organizations, there's one more fascinating concept I want to touch on. He has this whole section on what he calls artificial general intelligence, AGI for short.
Oh yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
And kind of scary too, right?
A little bit, yeah. It's like the ultimate goal of AI research, creating a machine that can actually think like a human.
So we're talking about AI that can write poetry, compose symphonies, solve complex mathematical theorems all at the same time.
Well, that's the idea anyway. AGI would be able to learn and adapt to any situation just like humans do. It wouldn't be limited to specific tasks or domains.
And King seems to think this isn't just some far-off sci-fi fantasy, right?
He doesn't. He actually believes that AGI could become a reality within our lifetime, which is both exciting and a little terrifying at the same time.
Okay, so let's say it does happen. What kind of impact could AGI have on the world?
I mean, the possibilities are pretty much limitless. Imagine AI collaborating with scientists to cure diseases, or designing sustainable cities, or even composing masterpieces of art and music.
It's like unlocking a whole new level of human potential.
Exactly. But of course, with any powerful technology, there are risks too.
Yeah, King doesn't shy away from those. He talks about the need for ethical guidelines.
Because if we're talking about machines that can think for themselves, we need to make sure they share our values. We need to make sure they're working for the benefit of humanity, not against it.
So it's not just about building smarter AI, it's about building AI that's aligned with our goals as a species.
Exactly. And that's a conversation we need to be having right now. Because the decisions we make today are going to shape the future of AI and ultimately the future of humanity.
It's a lot of responsibility, so where do we even begin?
Well, I think the first step is awareness. We need to educate ourselves and others about the potential benefits and risks of AGI. And we need to start thinking critically about the kind of future we want to create with this technology.
So what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this deep dive into Alan King's book? What's the call to action?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is not just something that's happening to us. It's something we're actively creating. And the more we understand about AI, the more empowered we'll be to shape its development in a positive direction.
So let's get informed, stay engaged, and keep those conversations going.
Absolutely. Because the future of AI is ultimately up to us.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. But don't worry, we'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of AI. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.